Well, it's morning of Tuesday. I got up here bright and early to get a jump on the start. It's before 6 o'clock right now, barely. And was going to be going and starting to clear. But yesterday, while greasing, I discovered that the excavator has some significant cracking going on its thumb. You can't really see it, but there's a crack there. And there's a really big crack running all the way down through right there. And it's cracked all the way through. So, if that crack gets any longer, it's gonna compromise the thumb to the point where it completely breaks off, and then we're in some serious jelly. So there's a mechanic on his way up here right now. He's supposed to be up here sometime this morning to get to fixing on that. So I'm gonna probably end up just firing up the bulldozer and starting to do what I can do with it. May try and clean these road edges off just a little bit. There's some dirt back over there on the cut bank that needs to be shoved out. And worst case scenario, we can get animalistic and a bit barbaric and try to start shoving stuff out through there. I just have to kind of wait and see. But that's where we stand this morning. I'm starting to think this job is cursed because of all the small little time-consuming problems that I've had on it. But oh well, that's just part of the game. So I'll get the dozer fired up and get to work with it while we wait for the mechanic to show up. Okay, well. The excavator is not fixed, but we're going to use it. The mechanic they sent out, his welder was having a little bit of an issue. So they're gonna send a different mechanic out or something. I don't know. I just know at some point in time somebody else is gonna come out and try to work on this machine. So I told them I would baby it. Dust down the cab. I told them I'd baby it, and baby it as much as you can anyway. It's land clearing. A lot of crap to do here. Breaking tops out of trees, baby. Anyway, so we got a pretty good idea of where we're clearing at now and what we're doing. Just start going through here and clearing stuff off and getting it over there and getting it to where I can start to push it. And then we'll see what's going on with the excavator situation here in a little bit. Got a lot to do now in a short period of time. But we'll get the trees out of the ground, baby. Fall back to me. See that? They're not supposed to do that. you pushed on them like that, you see how it's bending at the stump? That's not right. These trees are not healthy this year. Going on here. They just bend. Look at that. I mean, that thing is like rubber. They should just snap right off. This snapped right off, no problem. And they're not. This isn't the first job that they've been doing that to me on. I've had full-grown trees like that one right there, they just snap. They don't snap, they just bend over. They're like rubber. Kind of crappy. I gotta really keep an eye on that thumb too. I want to make sure I'm not going to go breaking it any worse than it already is. They want me to baby it, but I also got crap to do here. Every single one of them is going to do that. That is not kosher. That's not right at all. They're not supposed to bend. They're supposed to break. The reason why I'm shoving on them is so that when they fall over, they pull the stump up too. It's giving me some leverage to pull the stump up out of there. And they're breaking instead of they're bending instead of breaking. Excuse me. Now I gotta figure out just what the heck I'm gonna do about these. This tree right here originally, that's the tree we've been using as a marker to clear at. We're going to clear to this tree right here, back that way in a straight line. But their house is going right here. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go till that larch right there. I'm going to kind of clear out around that larch a little bit to give it some breathing room so that it's not fighting for water, because what's going to kill these trees is they're going to start to fight for water. And that larch is a pretty tree, and we don't want it fighting for water that bad. So we'll keep the big fir behind it, and then we'll keep it, but we're going to clear off basically everything in this little corner. And then this corner right here out that way is where we're going to go. I got to grab some pink tape and go out there and mark that off. That way we know exactly where we're going to. So I just went out and kind of marked a line. You're not going to be able to see it, but I kind of, there's a few trees out through here that got pink ribbon hanging from them now, and I wrapped pink ribbon up around a few trees that are just going to stay. That way I got a really good idea of what's going on. Now, the reason why these trees are going is because I don't know how well the camera picks that up. But you can see the inside of the tree is not healthy. It is not healthy at all. Dust. Tell you what I would give for like 3 days of rain at this point. This one here, the house is going right there where those trees are laying. At least that's their plan. This thing here could be a danger tree at some point in time, so it's going to go too. Last thing you want turn around and keep an eye on this stuff every now and then. Make sure it doesn't have embery life going on in it. That would be very unfortunate. Now let's see if we can't wrestle this here stump up out of the ground. So the way I was taught to clear, hey, you fish all the roots and stuff out of this the best you can, but the roots are rotten. So what I'll do is I'm going to come along this line and I'm going to just kind of pick stuff up and put it off behind me in like a row. And then I'll do that all the way down this line for the most part, as far out as I can really easily reach with the machine. And then I'll clear a pathway that's gonna go off the direction that I want to go to bury it, and I'll come in behind it with the dozer and I'll start shoving everything that direction. That little dozer's got enough lead in its backside to be able to at least shove some of these trees around. do this little stuff. Shove that little stuff around, no problem. Shove the little stuff around, no problemo. Just because I don't like the look of it, rip this rotten, decrepit old thing here out. Boys, you can probably see this here video and maybe not agree with my idea of baby in a thumb. It's got a lot of meat out there. It's not like the thumb is in desperate need of, like, it's gonna break any minute. It's got lots of meat left to it. It's just one of them situations that you don't get after it right now, it's gonna be a real big problem later on. You know, we don't end up keeping this machine for a while and the next guy comes along, it doesn't pay attention, it's gonna break. There's gonna be dirty words said and all that. You can't say it enough. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I'd much rather take the time and maybe lose a little bit of time. If this was my excavator, which we're renting it right now, and we're talking about buying it, or one like it, same size with less hours or something. But if this was my excavator, I'd hoover that thing back together enough to get her through the rest of the season, which isn't very long, but I'd be taking that thumb off and I'd be doing some full pin welding on it. I'm working for the steam tourist railroad industry. We'd have to do welds and stuff on boilers, welded repairs on boilers, and the way that thing's cracked, what really needs to happen is that they need to take the thumb off, lay it down on the workbench, and then completely grind the crack, because up here on this side down towards the bucket where that ear that bottom pin goes into, it's cracking through the thumb all the way down that. So if they really want to get that stopped, you got to get the thumb laying flat, and then you gotta grind that weld completely and totally out, but then you gotta safe end it. And what you do is at the end of that crack, when you finally find it, you take a big drill bit and you drill it all the way through and you make a big hole. And that'll stop that weld from going through any farther. And then what you'll want to do is you want, in the area that you're going to be welding, heat the thumb up with a rosebud to a few hundred degrees, so that it's already hot and expanded, and it's not going to try and take any energy away from your welding as you're welding. So it's not being shocked, and the welding itself isn't what's heating it up. Okay, so I made it over to my next little piece of ribbon right here, and I don't know how well it's picking up through the dirty windshield and all that, but every single one of these little groups of little trees like this that I've come through, and they've all been dying. They're too dry. What happens when those little trees die, they don't go anywhere, they just turn into fire fuel. So there's an imaginary line from that tree out yonder direction towards the other side of that right there. There's another big pine tree that we're going to be working our way towards here momentarily. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin around here and kind of just do the same thing what I just did in reverse. So right there is the path that I came down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get over here just a little bit more, take all this stuff out, put it over here, and I'm going to start going down this way. And all the stuff I took down and all the stuff I'm taking down, I'm going to set it behind me. And basically what that kind of does is it starts transferring all this stuff this direction. And then when I get down there, I'll turn around and I'll just kind of keep working my way back and forth within the clearing area here and get little groups of stuff together that all I gotta do is walk over, grab it, pick it up, move it, whatever. But there's a little bit more of an art in the land clearing than just getting on a machine and taking off through the brush. You gotta think about how to do it efficiently. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll stack up a stack here, and then when I get done with that, I'll come over here and start heading out that way towards our next spot that you can't see through the brush. Like that, they were dry and dead. You look at every single one of them, I don't know how well it's showing up on camera through the sun and the dirt and everything. Dang near every one of them's dead. This one right here where the bucket's at is red. Back and look at it from a distance, it looks like it's a huge area that we're clearing off. Really, it's not. The cabin's maybe 50 feet that way. If I would have known we were going to have to come back and rock the road at a later date because of the issues with the water truck and not having any water and the dirt being too dang dry to work the road. I would not have suggested burying this. I would have just thrown it all on a bunch of piles and been out here burning it while we're rocking the road. Sure this is the most efficient way of going about doing this, but I think for on this job it's about the only way I'm going to really be able to get her done, because normally when we're working on the coast, a small little project like this, just have an end dump come in and load all the brush up and take it out and take it to a recycle yard and grind it up, turn it into hog fuel, and get rid of it. There's a great big plant up in Kettle Falls. It'll take as much hog fuel as a guy can feed it, but there ain't nobody around here you can take the brush to. There's outfits over here that'll come and grind it for you, but they want a lot of money for their services. You know, I'd much rather pay trucking and have this stuff taken out. It's something bigger than a 12-yard dump truck. Just give me a bite. Oh. Sit right on top of that old skid road again. Up there. Little skid roads all over the place in this little chunk of property right here. Alrighty, I got the first half of it cleared down to just the small stuff. Got all the trees moved, torn down, and transferred most of the brush back over to that far corner. So we're right up against the little cabin now for the most part. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump on the dozer and come through here and try to start blading this out a little bit and shoving this garbage out there towards that pile and trying to fill the holes in and stuff while I'm at it. As I've mentioned before, this is where it'd be nice to have a rake on the dozer, and it'd also really be nice to have a rake on the excavator for this, because the rake's got the big tines on it. You just go like this and rake towards you, and all this stuff would go with it, and it'd make this a lot easier. But we don't have both, so we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. And there's a lot of holes and divots. You can't see it on the camera. There's a lot of holes and divots and bomb craters and stuff like that. So doing it this way, it's actually gonna grade it out real nice, and as well as getting rid of a lot of the garbage. The house is gonna be somewhere in this neck of the woods. And I think that as the view gets opened up, they're gonna start really questioning where they put the house, because there's a view dang near everywhere you look now. But say the house goes there, then your septic system can go out over here. Your house goes back over here, and the septic system can go back over there, or whatever. I'm gonna take this stuff and move it far enough out there that it's not gonna really affect what they're doing. And it looks like I've cleared a lot, but really I haven't cleared that much, because if you look past the excavator, you see how it's real open right there. I've been running into pockets like that all along this property, like that right there that had hardly any in it, and all that really came down this stretch right here that I was working on. And then over, there wasn't anything really in that neck of the woods, and it's like that all the way through here. And I get on the other side of that cabin, there's really nothing but stumps out there, so that's not going to produce a whole heck of a lot of brush from this point here that way. It's going to produce hardly any brush, which is going to be nice. So alrighty, I'm going to go jump on the dozer and start shoving and choking on dirt. Luckily the wind's blowing this way, and that's the way I'm going to be pushing.